What's going on, Tamers? It's your boy Dan from DigiGuard United, and today we're going to be talking about part 2 of the Color Staples series, which are the top cards you should pick up if you're considering playing red in the Digimon card game. I'm going to give a quick rundown of what Varney said in the last previous video of what a staple is in our own definition in the card game. Point number 1, a card that is generically good in any deck regardless of the color, such as Dexmon or Analog Boy, or a particular strategy or playstyle such as Ice Wall or Venusmon. And point number 2, a card that can fill out a deck due to the generic good examples are BT13 Kudamon or BT11 Biomon, cards that can generically search, or cards like Solarmon Pillamon that are floodgate text that you can throw into any deck, or even Alphamon with Sun Rizomon that gives generic sec attack +1. If you disagree or have something else that we should consider, feel free to drop a comment below and let us know your thoughts on what you believe a stable is to be or not to be. And with that being said, let's jump right into it. First off, we got is Koromon from Blast Ace BT14. Before I even jump into it even more, quick note, most of these cards with like $2-3 you can get play sets, so I'm not really going to talk about the price unless it's like something that's just generically different, like you'll see coming up. But anyways, Koromon from Blast Ace BT14. It's a really good card. It lets you draw one when you remove an opponent's security set, just generic, so any red deck can really use this card. Next egg we have is Gurimon. This is another draw egg, but it's a when attacking, if you have a Digimon with 6000 DP or more, draw one. Most times in red, you're going to be attacking with a high DP, so again, this is like a free draw one for you. Next we have is Yokomon from Dimensional Phase BT11. This is another draw one egg. As you notice with a trend when it comes to red eggs, we like to draw because there's not much drawing going on. So it's a fact is on deletion, if you red Tamer, just draw one. Again, another way to draw one if you would like to have a deck that attacks very low and they die consistently, this is probably the egg for you. Next, for the rookies we have is Guilmon from Starter Deck 7, the Galamon starter deck. Its main effect is kind of irrelevant in what we're talking about as a generic staple. But the reason we think this is a really good staple for anyone to have is because of the inherit. It's a when an opponent's Digimon is deleted, draw one. So again, another way to just draw in red that has struggles in drawing. Next we have is Biomon from BT11, like I mentioned. And our example, this card is really good because it's just on play, real top 3 cards, add one red Digimon with Vaccine, and it's straight in one red Tamer. So being able to have a searcher that can grab both a Digimon and a Tamer is really good to have in your deck. I've seen this card being played in decks like Shine Greymon before and stuff like that. And it also has an on deletion inheritable. If you're a red Tamer, gain 1 memory. So again, it's another way to gain memory and search your deck. Next we have is Muchomon from BT15. This is kind of a new one. We're starting to see this card in more decks. And what it does is once per turn, when one of your red Digimon attacks a player, draw one. So it doesn't even necessarily have to be this Muchomon. It could be any Digimon on board that's red to attack to be able to draw one, which is pretty good. Next we have is Agumon from Starter Deck 7. That starter deck has a really good staples that anyone can use, as you'll see moving forward in this video. Inheritable, when this Digimon attacks another player, it gains 2000. So just a free 2k buff if you're playing something that's not very specific and tribal. Being able to just have a generic 2k buff is really good to have. Next we have is Solarmon from the Jessamon starter deck. We're getting into our floodgate rookies. So this is a floodgate. All turn players can reduce play cost. Again, this is a card that you can throw in any deck depending on what the meta looks like. So if you know your opponent plays a lot of Dexmons, or the meta has Dexmon or Crosshair or like Blue Flare or something, this is the card you want to throw in it because they can't play them for the reduced play cost. Next floodgate is the Gatomon from BT14. All players can't play Digimon by effects. So again, this is another card. You just throw it into any deck depending on what the situation looks like in the meta. This is a really good card now that we're seeing like Greymon decks even running in today's game, just because of Newmon, Levia, all these decks that can just play Digimon from by effects, and this just stops it. And the final red floodgate we have is Gaussmon. He has 2 effects surprisingly. So the first effect is your other Gaussmon all get plus 3k. So for whatever reason you have multiple Gaussmon on board, they become 5k. So they could be swinging at 5k. If you have another one on board, then maybe like 8k. It's kind of weird, that effect, but it is what it is. But that's not what we're here to talk about really. It is the opponent's turn. Your opponent can reduce digital solution costs. So this card is good against decks that like Mirage or any deck that likes to use the training boost to reduce their evo costs. It also stops the level 5 hybrids from reducing evo costs as well. So this is something, again, this is a meta call for whatever the meta looks like. Next we have probably the best staple for red in a level 4, which is the starter deck Greymon. It's just an inheritable second attack +1. We all know red loves to have second attack +1 in their swings. Being able to do multiple checks in one swing is very good for red to have. This card is about $2 if you include the shipping, probably 3 to get a playset. It's gonna be $12. This is a card that you should always have and always consider having in your deck if whatever red deck you're playing. So it's definitely worth picking up for. This looks like it's about $3 ish. So again, 12-ish. Definitely pick it up if it's possible. Next we have is a Digimon for BT4. This is your generic hyper for gameplay. Being able to digivolve over your red Tamer for a cost of 2 and swing for game is always there. It's always a viable thing. If you feel like you don't know what to put in your level 4 slot, this is a card you could just throw a 1-of and call it a day. Next we have is Greymon from the Galmon Star deck. This is a very good generic card because it's a security Digimon. So at the end of the battle, you can play the Digimon card while paying the memory cost. And on play, you could delete one of your opponent's Digimon with 4k of DPLS. So that's some weak level 4s in the game, especially today with Newmon. They're all weak, so this will always pop a level 4. This will also pop your opponent's floodgates if needed. Other maybe annoying rookies that's on board that you need to get rid of. So it's definitely something to consider. Next in our level 5s is Garudamon Ace from BT15. This is one of the 2. We only have 2 red level 5 aces, and this is the best one out of both. And again, you can just, since it's an ace card, blast Digivolve on your opponent's turn. And its effect is on play when Digivolve, you may play 1 play cost 4 lower red Tamer for free. So that's pretty good, especially in red. There's not many decks that can play their Tamers for free on a consistent basis. And this lets you do that all the time, even on play. So it's a play cost 4. So if you think about it, for 4 costs, you get a low 5 and a Tamer for free. That is valuable in this game, in this today's game especially. And then second effect, all turns with turn when one of your Tamers is played, delete one of your opponent's Digimon with a blocker. So that could be again in a Newmon matchup where they have inheritable for blockers for their Monzimons at times, or even other Newmons. You can delete other level 6s potentially if you're playing against a Greymon deck. You can do a lot of different things with that all turns effect. Pretty good card in my opinion. Again, this is another card that's $5 as a base SR. Definitely try to get your playset. That'll be $20 unfortunately, but it's definitely something worth it depending on what deck you try and play and how you want to play it. Next we have is the worst level 5 ace Digimon, which is a Metal Greymon Ace from BT14. Its effect is not as good, but it's a generic staple in my opinion, because it's a on play when Digimon delete one of your opponent's Digimon with 6k DP. It's not not restricted or anything, it's just delete a 6k DP. So that's definitely your level 3s, level 4s, and very rare occasion some weak level 5s, especially if for some reason they're DP minus or something. I don't know. It's definitely something that could be played and considered. Again, if you think about it, if you just want to be used as a free ace, it's a free level 5 Evo if it needs to be. So it's still something to definitely consider. And this one is way cheaper if you want an ace. So this is again $4 or $5. You get your playset easy in comparison to the Garuda Ace. that just shows how the difference, how good they are in my opinion. Next we got for our level 6s, War Greymon from BT1. This card is still amazing to this day. It's only 11k DP, but that's fine. You can probably boost it up in many ways, in red especially. Its effect is when Digivolving, Second Attack +1. So again, that generic Second Attack +1 is always great. Second effect, which is the best part about this card, it does not activate security effects. So that is an ADP on legs, being able to swing multiple checks and their options don't activate. It's super good, especially in red. This is a card though, a little bit on the pricier side. Lightly played is $225, so $3 with shipping. You can get one. A near mint is $250, so plus shipping is, you know, somewhere in the $3 range. Definitely pick up your copies because this is something that's will forever be good in my opinion. Next we got is Marsmon from BT11. This card doesn't get played as much, but it's just generically really good still. It has raid, so being able to switch attacks to your unsuspected Digimon. And then when Digivolving, it has Blitz, which is a good combination. Raid plus Blitz, be able to get rid of your opponent's Digimon when passing turn. And then second effect, when one of your Digimon's attacks target is switch unsuspected Digimon and gain 1 memory for each red tamer you have. Again, a very generic effect, being able to gain memory for every red tamer, potentially keep turn, being able to unsuspend, and if you only pass them to 1 with this Evo effect, Evo cost I should say, and then gain a memory back with just a 1 red tamer, be able to swing it over possibly 2 Digimon same turn to get rid of their board state. It's pretty good in my opinion. It's 12k DP, so it's naturally strong. And again, this is another card that's super cheap, especially for SR. Definitely something to get your copies for if you don't know what to play your top end. Next we have is Gallimon from BT12. This is another Digimon that has raid, so same concept as before. When Digivolve and delete one of your opponent's Digimon with 6,000 DP or less, which is a good, you know, a good little pop here and there. When attacking, delete one of your opponent's Digimon with 6k or less. If no opponent's Digimon was deleted, trash the top card of your opponent's security stack. So being able to trash your opponent's security stack is a great way to get rid of their security. If they have a lot of security bombs, is a good effect in my opinion. This card kind of spiked up because of Gallimon support that came out, so like $4 or $5 for one. Definitely consider getting, you know, $20. You get this, get a playset of this, and you'll be good to go. Next we have is probably the most expensive card on this list. It is the BT13 Secret Gallimon. This card is just so good as a level 6, super generic, super strong as well. He has rush. You can on play when Digivolve and when attacking, delete one of your opponent's Digimon with 6k or less. If no Digimon is deleted, you can delete their 13k or more Digimon. So being able to delete high and low is very good. And on top of that, you can play this card for potentially free at times. This card is reduced play cost by 2 for every 5 cards in total cards and both players trash. And so that can pile up really fast. So again, this card is pretty cracked, and it's 13k DP, so it's really strong. You can deal with a lot of Digimon on board at once with this card. The moment it comes out, your opponent has to deal with this because this thing is going to wreck your board as fast as possible. Again, this card is on the expensive side. It is a secret rare. For base rarity, it's $26, $27. Maybe you don't need a playset of this, but definitely consider picking up like 2, a minimum in my opinion, to be able to have. You just never know with this card. This card, it's not even a red staple in my opinion. This is a generic staple. You could throw it into almost any deck, especially purple in my opinion. It's just such a good card. Next we have Apollomon from EX5. This is a Digimon that has when Digivolve and Blitz. Your turn, for every 3 cards in this Digimon Digivolution cards, this Digimon gains second attack +1. So again, red is always about that second attack +1. So being able to have second attack +1 pretty easily is really cool. Even if you're not playing this in a Lightfang Nightclaw deck or, you know, Galaxy deck, you can play this in a normal red deck and you'll still at least get the second attack +1. Probably just 1, but you can still get it. Second effect, when a card is removed from your opponent's security set, delete one of your opponent's Digimon with DP less than or equal to this card. So natively, he's 12k. You can easily boost it up in red. Red is all about DP boosting and second attack +1. So you could possibly delete anything on board with this card. and Blitz is just a good mechanic as well. Again, this is another card that's a little bit on the more expensive side. It's about $5-6 for one. Being able to pick up a play set probably costs you $22. It's definitely something worth it because this card will probably get more support down the line. The deck itself could get more support, and potentially a Palomon deck will get support as well. You just never know. Next, we have our options. Gravity Crush from BT1. This card just says for cost of 0, gain 2, and at the end of your turn, lose 2 memory. It's a good way to extend your plays. If you think you have game, but you need that extra memory, this card is a go-to for that. The downside is there's no security effects, so you can't, do anything in security with it. It's a card that's old, so it's about $2, $3 for one if you go with the release special booster version. They also have a RB version, I believe, that's probably just as cheap or even cheaper. So getting a playset is pretty easy for this card. They also have an event pack if you want to get real spicy, pay a little bit more, but $2 for one is not bad. Next we have is a Delicate Plan. This card is a card that will always be seen in red, in my opinion, depending on what the meta looks like. Like I said, with the Floodgate rookies, this is the same thing, in my opinion. For cost of 1, you could give one of your opponents the ability to not be able to check option cards in security. So ADP on your Digimon is always good to have. Even decks like Fenrir Lugomon, which is a half purple, half red, I guess now at this point, is running this card because of security effects. And Greymon decks will occasionally run this. Anything that's red will run this occasionally if need be. And again, it depends on what the meta looks like. This is the Resurgent Booster version, so it is stupid cheap. It's a penny, plus shipping, so it's $1 basically. So $5 gets you a play set. You wouldn't run more than 2 in a deck, so again, play set gets you multiple decks potentially. Next we have is arguably the best red option currently in the game, just because the way the format is. It is Crimson Blaze from BT8. This card is really good for cost of 6, and it's not always a cost of 6. This card reduces the memory cost for every Digimon your opponent has in play. So if they have 2 Digimon on board, then this would be a cost of 4. Made effectively, all your opponent's Digimon with 6k DP or less. Your opponent cannot play Digimon by effects until the end of their turn, until the end of their next turn, I should say. Being able to have that Floodgate effect, and they can't deal with the Floodgate effect because there's no Digimon board for them to delete. It's super clutch, especially in matchups against Numamon, against Fenrir Lugomon. Being able to Anubis back in the day, being able to have an option that lets you say, hey, you can't play Digimon by effects. It just stops their whole game plan for at least that turn. Near mint, $2, $3 for shipping. This is definitely a card you want maybe a place to add more of because it's so good. You can throw it in any red deck and add multiples as well. I've seen this card be played at 2 to 3, sometimes even 4, depending on the deck. And it's just that good where, you need to get your hands on it. Next we have is Fireball from EXO2. This card is all right. It's really generically good. If you don't know what to put for your options, this is a card you could definitely consider. Play cost of 2, so effect is delete when you post Digimon with 3k DP or less. If no Digimon is deleted, draw 2. So this can potentially be a pot of greed for Digimon. This is a good turn 0 play if you just Digivolve in the back. Play this if you need to draw. Again, this is another cheap card that's playset will get you $2-3 to get you a playset of this. It's not too bad. Next, we're going to talk about the boosts for red, which is red memory boost, and we'll get into the offense training boosts in a second. Red memory boost, again, this is a card that's so generically good that every red deck needs to play this. Being able to search the top 4 cards of your deck and add 1 red Digimon is so good. Again, it's generic, so it doesn't matter what it is, just being able to grab a card. And then delay, gain 2 memory. Being able to gain 2 memory later on is always so good in red because red is sometimes not the most efficient color when it comes to memory. So being able to have that extra 2 memory is very good. And again, this is the Resurgence Booster version, so it's even cheaper, I believe, than the original promo version. 28 cents, so $1, $1.50 gets you 1. Being able to get 4 gets you like $6-7, gets you a playset. Definitely get your playset of this ASAP. especially a base rarity, super cheap. And then the other boost is the offense training. This card is a little bit different, so it costs 2. Being able to reveal the top 2 cards and grab any red cards, so that includes options and tamers, is very, very good. And then you're able to reduce the evo cost by 2 onto your next Digivolution. Is super clutch, and again, especially for red. And definitely get your playsets of this. Unfortunately, because it only came out in the Blast Ace box topper, it is a little bit on the expensive side, so it's $450 for one, $570-ish for plus shipping. So again, this is another card that $20 gets you a playset, $22 gets you a playset. So I see in with shipping including, yeah, $570, $6. Unfortunately, playset $24 sometimes. It's something that's definitely needed. If you don't want to buy a playset of it, just when you craft your deck, see how many you need and go from there. If you just need 2, you think you just need 2, grab 2. But this is a card you should always have though as well. And finally, for the tamers, we have Tamer from BT1. This is the Resurgence booster version, so it's way cheaper than the others. It's a memory tamer, so you always start at 3. And then second effect is if your red Digimon has 4 more Digivolution cards, second attack +1. Like I mentioned before, red loves their second attack +1, and being able to have second attack +1 on a tamer is super good. And again, this is a Resurgence booster version. It's gonna be it's gonna be cheaper, so 70 cents. Get you a couple of these right here. You don't need to necessarily run 4 in a deck, but definitely grab at least 2 for a deck. And finally, the last team we're gonna talk about is Hero Amanakawa, however you say it. Let's just call it Hero from BT8. He is another memory tamer. Sets your memory to 3. His second effect is when you attack with a Digimon that has Gamma on his name or a level 5 or higher. This is why we have it on the list. It's just a generic level 5 or higher. You may suspend a tamer to give that Digimon 2k plus for the turn. So giving a Digimon 2000 DP whenever because of this card is super good. It makes your War Greymon like the BT11 one. BT1 one, I'm sorry. That's 11k to 13k to get over pesky 12k DP Digimon and security. Is very good. And just, buff of anything to attack over other Digimons as well is always really good to have. And again, this is super cheap. This is the BT8 version. So lightly played 25 cents, near mint 30 cents, 40 cents, plus shipping. Get yourself a couple of these and you'll be good to go. And that's it for our staples for red. If you guys like this, just subscribe to us and we'll catch you on the next staple video. Peace.